Talk Show. I'm your host, Mr. Apex. I'm here today with
Kia. What's up?
What's going on, Kia? Tell people something about yourself.
Well, let's see. I recently taken some advice from Beyonce and I just quit my job.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How long was your job and what kind of job was it?
18 years.
Okay.
It was corporate communications.
Okay.
But it no longer served me, so I had to protect my peace and my mental health, and I chose to do that over the cushy corporate job.
So what are you doing now?
Well, granted, this was literally just last week.
Damn, so like you just fresh like said, fuck it.
I had to. I woke up one morning, I actually have been struggling with the job for the last year, just in terms of like I said, mental health and such, and to the point where it's like affecting me physically and my physical health.
Okay.
And I woke up and I was like, I can't do this today. I can't continue to not prioritize myself. So I let them know it wasn't for me anymore. And
So like you just quit, like you ain't try to call and say, I'm gonna take some time off, vacation time to still
I'd
get
already
paid.
done that. I did that last year. I took a couple months off when it initially hit me.
Okay.
And I took that time to kind of like reevaluate and stuff. And I said, okay, maybe I'll give it another go
Okay.
and try to stick with it. But it wasn't for me because it didn't serve me anymore. So I had to just take that leap of faith, bet on myself and just decide to go ahead and kick it to the curb.
Okay, so what you doing now? What are you gonna do?
Well, first and foremost, I'm prioritizing my health. So I've just been working out, reestablishing like my eating habits and meal prepping and relearning food and relearning how to eat properly. Because when you start to kind of like find yourself in fogs, you don't really think about the things you're eating. You just anything. So I'm relearning my relationship with food, and
How's that going?
it's challenging. I'm not gonna lie, because I
What are you
love
eating
pizza,
now?
I love tacos, and it's just a lot of junk that I like to eat.
So why you cutting the pizza? Why you cutting?
I'm
the
not
tacos?
cutting it. I'm just cutting how I'm healthifying pizza and tacos.
So back in the day, like you just eat pizza every day, tacos every day.
Literally, yes.
Same with it.
Don't do me like that. I mean, I've been an athlete for a long time in my life, so eating what I wanted it was just something natural. I didn't really have to really think about how I ate.
That's bad then when you was young. And
You're right. I know.
Young spring chicken.
I get
You
that.
spring chicken now?
I get that.
Your old hands.
I get that. But I'm telling you, it's retraining, and that's why I'm learning. And then also what I'm trying to do now, I'm pivoting into the tech world. So that's my
Like doing what?
next software engineer.
Look at you going hard in there.
I mean, I'm taking a couple months just to kind of do me, like I said, work on me and my personal health, and then I'll get back into the workforce.
Okay. So like, are you single, relationship, married, engaged, what?
I'm in a relationship. I've been with my girlfriend for 3 years, going on 3 years now.
I thought it was 4.
Pandemic love,
Well, how did that get started?
We met just before the pandemic started in 2019.
Okay.
We happened to both be drug out to a pool party that neither of us wanted to go to.
Okay.
We ended up there, just happened to see her. I low-key stalked her a little bit at the party, and,
You a little stalker, yeah.
the rest was history.
What you mean the rest is history? So like, is it like a friendship at first, or you right at it?
No, I mean, I wasn't pursuing her as a friend, so when I saw her, I was attracted to her. I made that very well known,
Okay.
and she reciprocated that energy.
Okay.
From that point, we just kind of like communicated.
So then how'd you court her then?
Well, I mean, we chatted. She's a little younger than me, so we did the text thing and communicated off of Instagram.
Alright.
So how I got the information first.
Okay.
So, I did my little
DMs.
I did my little Instagram. No, I saw a person. It was
Yeah,
a
but
person.
you started doing DMs.
Well, I went through the Instagram to do my little investigative work. So I went and I checked out, what I could see and what I could learn from her Instagram.
Okay.
And, I like what I saw. So I hit her up and, invited her to go hang out. We went out to dance. and she's a dancer, so that was right up her alley. I got these ain't Meg knees or nothing like that, but they work a little bit. You know, I'm from Miami. I got a little booty shake in me, so I could do a little something on the dance floor. So yeah, we danced, and then from there we just kind of continued to talk very often. And she was at my house and back and forth, and we just, after about a year's time frame, decided that it was appropriate for us to consider this a relationship.
So basically for a whole year, you just courted her.
Yeah, I mean,
You need to know her basically.
I was getting to know her. Yeah, I wanted to.
You wanted to make sure.
My past relationships have moved quite quickly, and I did not want to have that same kind of situation with her because I kind of saw something a little bit different in her. There was a lot of things that we had in common.
Like what?
Familial values, which was very important to me. She's very family oriented. Don't roll your eyes. I mean, there's some women that I met that don't have that. So
really?
Yeah, unfortunately.
We're going to get into that. I mean, go to continue. I'm listening.
But that was really big for me. So she has the same kind of values that I have in terms of family.
Okay.
She's very communicative, which is something that I've had troubles with in my past relationships. So it was very easy for me to communicate with her. So I naturally wanted to expound on that and make sure that we could continue to have that throughout our relationship.
Okay.
And she's fun, you know. She just is very fun, lighthearted. She doesn't take herself too seriously. She can joke. I can be silly, and it just felt right.
Okay. I can dig that. So you hit on your past relationship. So how was that past relationship? Like, how did that go?
The one prior, or are we talking about all collectively?
Let's go to the one prior. I'm curious.
That relationship it had its positives and its negatives.
How long?
We were together for 4 years.
Okay.
And we traveled a bit.
Okay.
We traveled quite a bit together. We did have some fun, but something I think we kind of talked about a little bit earlier is like red flags and not paying attention to them, right? So seeing those flags, but kind of like being smitten by the relationship or the person themselves, you allow yourself to kind of just be like,
whatever.
Maybe this ain't as bad as it is, but I ignored those things, right?
Okay.
So those things started to present themselves later in the relationship, and they expounded. They just like blew up.
Was y'all part of like because like you said, with your present relationship, it took you a year to court her. So how long did it take you to court your past relationship?
It was like a couple months, maybe 2, 3, and then we was living together.
Really? Wait, what? Oh, what the hell? Wait.
All right, it's a term in the lesbian community called U-hauling, right?
U-haul. What the hell is U-haul?
You meet one day, basically moved in like the next week, and you married like the next week.
Damn.
And then you got a baby the next week. Just like it moves really quickly, that's all.
Well, I'm glad I'm not lesbian. That U-Haul thing sounds.
You say you're glad you're not?
Hell no.
That's unfortunate for you.
I don't want to be U-Haul. What the hell?
You don't always have to U-Haul. Women are a lovely thing.
Okay, because my God, the U-Haul thing sounds very scary.
It's not everyone.
Well, you said it. There's a thing called U-Haul.
It's common.
I ain't even never heard of U-Haul. You just told me something new.
It's common.
Well, ladies, don't try to U-Haul me. Man, say you try to U-Haul me.
They might not.
Take me 2 years to get to know you.
That's a long time, though.
I gotta be certain. You just can't walk around. I like you. I might like you, but I don't love you.
Okay, that's fair enough. You don't have to love nobody in 2 years, but I think if you're actively looking to be with someone, it depends on where you are in your life. So if at that point I wasn't necessarily, so for me it took a little bit longer than I normally would because I wasn't actively pursuing or looking for anyone. And she
U-hauled you.
I was presented with this wonderful person, and I just knew I could not allow myself, despite the state that I was in,
Or past
allow myself to pass.
present?
Huh?
Past
My
or present?
current relationship.
Well, I mean, you saw what you wanted. You pounced on it. You learned it.
But that's the
for a
thing.
whole
Like I
year.
said, I didn't want anything, and we both communicated that to each other. We didn't want anything because at that stage of where we were in our own lives, we weren't looking for anything. But it was just kinetic. Like we met. It was like something clicked, and we both were like, it doesn't make sense to miss out on whatever this opportunity is, whether it's a friendship, turns out to be that, or if it's going to turn out to be a relationship. And I'm happy to say it's turned out to be a great relationship.
I'm happy to hear that. Right.
Long overdue. 41 years, man. It took me a long time to get here.
Yeah, sometimes it takes a while. Some of it's a little harder than others. It takes time.
Very true.
But then you said 18 years at a job and you just said the hell with it.
Yeah.
So when did you start feeling like the hell with it? Like, I can't do this anymore. I need more.
Like I said, it started last year. So last year, I just kind of recognized that I wasn't my best self in and outside of work.
Okay.
And I made it a point to kind of like really determine where that was coming from.
Okay.
So I would sit down, I got the Calm app, so I was meditating, I was doing yoga, I was trying to do everything possible to kind of like tap into what I really thought was causing me to feel this way. I mean, to the point like I started losing hair, like I'm pulling out my hair, just because I know I was so extremely stressed and I couldn't pinpoint where it was coming from. Therapist, all of that. And when I woke up one day and like I literally was ready to bang my head into my laptop, I said, I need a break. And I contacted my job. They were very, very understanding and very supportive of what I needed.
I mean, you've been there for a long time, so of course.
I would hope so, but they were very supportive of that, and I took about 3 months off of work, and I just allowed myself to be.
Okay.
I spent time with my partner, I spent time with my family. I, did some of the things I enjoy, playing basketball, working out, just sometimes not even anything if that's what I felt like.
Yeah.
And that was important for me. And when I came back to work, I felt a little bit more rejuvenated.
Okay.
And then in that space, I had to be creative, and I wrote blog content, and I had to do video and photo editing. So I needed to have the clear head and the clear mind to have that type of creativity.
Okay.
And I wasn't experiencing that. And I think I lost some of that in the pandemic because I wasn't going to the office as well.
Okay.
And that also catapulted me to think about how much of this work I'm really passionate about.
Oh, okay.
So after that year, and I got back into the work, and then I started feeling myself going back down to the path that I was in prior to me taking the break. I said, I can't allow myself to get to that point again, because that is going to be something that's irreparable. Like, I'm not going to be able to come back from that. And, physical harm and things like that, I didn't want to experience, and I didn't want to put my family through those things. So I said I needed to take a step back. And I just evaluated, I talked with my partner, I looked at my finances.
Yes, I was going to ask that question. So, about your partner, around that time, I guess like doing like the job and everything else, was your stress affecting your partner, like relationship, things of that nature, or no?
Oh, it absolutely did not affect our relationship.
Okay.
She is an amazing person. She's very self-aware.
Okay.
She's very emotionally intelligent.
Okay.
And that has helped me be able to tap into that myself. So
Okay.
I had the support from her to be vulnerable. I had the support from her to just kind of
just be,
have my emotions, whether they were up, down, in between. And she supported all of that. She said, if you're going to cry today, you're going to cry today. If you're going to be happy today, you want to eat a whole pizza, eat a whole pizza. Like, it didn't matter. She let me be.
She let you be you. Okay.
And it just gave me that space and that freedom to kind of get to where I was, to say, I can't do this anymore.
Respect that. I like that. Cool. So, what are your futures then?
My future, I like to say that I'm a person that kind of goes with the flow, right? And
Okay.
I've always worked in corporate settings, so I've been confined to those restrictions.
Yeah,
and
no change now.
Correct. So now I really have the opportunity to kind of determine what I want to do and allow myself to just really go with the flow. So right now, that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of just going with wherever the wind takes me. I'm probably in the next month or so going to visit my cousin who lives in Costa Rica. So I'm going to go out there and relax a little bit, free my mind. I'm going to, like I said, I'm starting the pivot and transition into tech. So in the next 2 months or so, I'm going to be in this boot camp that I'll be taking to.
So I want to touch more about your relationship. So you say your partner's very emotional there. Can you go into details with that?
Well, I say she's emotionally intelligent because she is like very, very aware of her emotions. And I guess for my knowledge of emotions, I wasn't very connected to them. So like I had a very, and I still have, a very, I would say lackluster emotional verbiage. Like my definitions of emotions are very basic, like anger, you know, sad, happy, but she can like express a bit more than I can. So
Please do tell.
I mean, she just, I mean, I don't know how to explain it, I guess.
You gave it a name, emotional intelligent.
I mean, it is like she can pinpoint those things when I can't. Like I can't sit down and tell you half the time sometimes what I'm feeling. It takes a lot for me to put those things into words. I feel them, I can act on them, but explaining it to you and telling you how I feel is a challenge.
Just for the athlete, so
Yeah.
that is.
It's very challenging for me to do that.
Just the athlete.
But her, she'll tell you how she needs to be treated. She'll tell you, you know, if I'm feeling this way, I don't appreciate how you don't respect that. And, you know,
Very
she
outspoken.
can talk through it. Whereas,
You want to yell through.
you know, I'm an Aries, I'm driven by fire. I'll be ready to box somebody before I can tell you. I might be happy, I might be sad, but we're going to box it out.
So I'm like an athlete to me. I don't know about fighting. Oh my God. Okay, so do you see yourself being married to her?
Yeah. Like I said, we have a bit of an age gap, so I'm at a different space in my life
How
than
old?
where she is.
Like how old? Please do tell.
It's 15-year age gap.
That ain't too bad. I thought you were gonna say like 20. I'm like, damn, you rocking the
Five.
cradle.
That's 5 years away.
I mean,
But that's just the numbers. Like I said, she's taught me a lot of things in terms of how I can, like,
well, please do
express
tell. What
emotion.
she was
Like
talking
I
more.
told you, like I can communicate.
But I mean, some more stuff. Then come on now.
Well, I communicate a lot better with her than
Okay.
I have in any relationship, whether it be romantic or even friendship.
Okay.
She's very socially aware, and that might be that, is that Gen Z? Might be that Gen Z in her. But she's very socially aware, and, you know, we read a lot of books together that speak about the history of Miami, that speak about her ancestry, which is Cuban. We speak about,
Beans and rice and chicken and pork.
that's not it only, but there's a lot of things that we discuss in terms of like race relations, a lot of Black Afrocentric history and books and things that we read together. So
Oh, so I'll get very deep.
yeah, sometimes, you know, she's deeper than I am, and I'm like, can we lighten the mood a bit? But I'm learning to have that balance from her.
So she's basically making you become a better person.
I think so.
That's correct. Are you making her a better person?
I mean, you probably have to ask her that question.
mean,
I would hope as a partnership we're gaining something from each other.
Okay.
And there are definitely a lot of things that I think I've taught her or shown her,
Okay.
or maybe exposed her to, that she hadn't had the opportunity to experience prior.
Like what?
Well, for some, in terms of like traveling, we've traveled a few places together.
What places?
New Orleans, Atlanta. I mean, she hasn't really left Miami, so
Okay.
when we met right when the pandemic started, so our travel was at a minimum.
Kind of hard to do anything there.
Right. But, you know, traveling and wanting to do that and having a desire to want to do it, I
Okay.
think that's something that we've both kind of been able to share a little bit more. You know, maybe even just temper. Sometimes she's a little hot-headed. So I'm trying to calm her because I'm a more calm person than I think she is, even though I'll fight when I need to, but more often than not, my temper is
More mellow.
very mellow. But she can be ready to go at a moment's notice. So just, I think little things like that.
Interesting. Okay. You're Aries.
That's correct, proudly. I'm not going to show you the tramp stamp, but I got it.
Sounds like every stuff right there. Okay,
Young
so,
and dumb.
What's your partner?
She's a Capricorn.
The best sign in the world.
That's what y'all like to say.
I mean, we started the year, we ended the year.
Anything else?
You see, she's. I mean, you already said it. She came to you. She calmed you down. Say, listen, you don't need to be like that.
I think that was the reverse. I heard that.
I don't know. You gave her the process saying emotional intelligent. I mean,
She could be
Capricorns
emotionally
are
intelligent.
emotional intelligent. That's what we be like, it ain't that serious.
She can still be emotionally intelligent, but have a temper.
I think it's not a temper. It's just a misunderstanding. It's like, we know we right, but I can't give it too much.
You January or you December, Capricorn?
January.
Okay.
Ain't none of that sad. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
You right there like.
Okay. Well,
I mean, Aries, y'all the sign people just love to hate.
that's true. You know, we run things, we speak our mind, we're very bold.
I mean, something wrong being bold, but sometimes y'all can be a little bit wrong.
I've been called rude several times because
I don't mind the rudeness. I say wrong.
Hey, we ain't wrong though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
We ain't wrong.
I'm true Aries right there.
You might just see it a different way. We're not wrong.
Yeah, it's like going to the doctor's office. Doctor telling you one thing, you tell the doctor you're wrong.
I just see it a different way than you.
Moving right along, Lord have mercy. We gonna pray for your partner.
Please do. I accept all prayer.
What's the name?
My partner's name is Barbara.
Barbara, we pray for you. To deal with you in our every ways. I know it's hard when a Capricorn trying to deal with, war all day long. But anyway, so you took a break. What's next for Miss Kia?
Well, next is continuing to move along my path to maintaining my health, improving my health, physically, mentally,
Spiritually.
spiritually.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll take some spirituality in there.
Yes.
And then I'll be, continue my transition into the tech field. I'm really interested in that, and I've been studying it over like maybe the last year and a half or so, just kind of like navigating my avenue and what I wanted to pursue, because it's a very vast field.
So what like avenue are you trying to pursue?
Right now, engineering, so software engineering. I'm looking into different languages and learning like coding. So Python is one of the languages I'm learning right now. Pandas, I think, which is a byproduct of Python. I'm learning some SQL, these tech terms. So just a lot of different languages and things that I'm trying to explore, and just figuring out where I want to go next with it.
Okay. Sounds great. So what about your relationship? What's the next step in that?
Well, we recently moved, well, I'll say recent, we moved in together like within the last couple months.
Okay. How's that going?
It's going great. We love the place we live in, us and our 2 little cats. And beyond that, I think, we've talked about what marriage looks like.
And what does marriage look like?
Well, I have a different timeline, I guess. So, I may be a little bit more ready than she is right now.
Okay.
But it's not a big deal. I don't have to be married. I think I just probably want to have a party. You know what I'm saying? I just want to have a party. But it's something that we're talking about, and I probably see that in maybe the next year or 2.
Okay, so what does marriage look like for you though? What's it look like?
I mean, no different than I think what we are doing right now. It'll just be a piece of paper. It's a business transaction.
But
go ahead.
But like I've heard people say, as soon as they get married, things change.
I don't think they will. Because it doesn't define my relationship. I think it's just, for me, it's protections at this point. So
Okay.
if we were to have a child that, there's not going to be an issue, with her, if something were to happen to me or something were to happen to her, that our child would not be able to stay with their parent and who they've grown up with.
Okay.
I think that is the most important part of it. For me, it's just those protections and those rights to like my money, properties, or any type of investments and things that we have, that she will be able to have that should something happen to me.
Okay. Cool. Do I have any more questions for you, Miss Kim?
Do you?
Think. Oh, yeah, your eating habits. So how's that going? Like for real?
Why you don't put me on the spot like that? I mean, I'm doing what I can,
What does that mean?
I'm being mindful about what I eat.
How often are you eating?
I'm working it up. It used to be one time a day because eating has been rough. It's hard for me. when I eat a lot, and then that's it. So I'm working at my 3 meals a day now.
Okay.
I'm at about 2.5 meals. I get my breakfast in. I'm starting intermittent fasting, so I'm working between my 12 to 8 period. So I get up in the morning, I have a big jug of water.
Okay.
I have some probiotics that I take.
Okay.
And then, I might eat like Ezekiel toast, avocado, something like that, oatmeal maybe, scramble a couple eggs. My girlfriend is pretty much vegan vegetarian, so tofu, I have like some tofu scramble, a lot of veggies.
Okay.
And then midday, I'm a sandwich person. I like to have sandwiches. So I'm trying to cut away from the bread, so I have some.
I mean, bread's not a problem as long as you're working out.
Yeah, right. It is. It's not, but I can overindulge, so I'm trying to minimize how much of it I do. But I'll have like a nice little sandwich or some rice, some protein by way of tofu, and like spinach. I like to eat that a lot. And then dinner, kind of see whatever happens.
Okay. So, what would you like to tell the people about relationships and things of that nature?
About relationships? I mean, go at your own pace. I think a lot of people allow other people to dictate how their relationship should go, and people's interjections and their feelings and thoughts about it, but the only two people in the relationship are you and that person. So have open communication, be honest, and just, work it out between you two.
Thank you, Kid, for coming on to the APS Talk Show. I'm going to wrap it up for you. Basically, it's between, like she said, you and your partner. You make it happen, no one else. No faith, no glory. Thank you for joining APS Talk. Thank you, Ms. Kid.